Hey there, welcome to SharkCast Pod NRL 2025, where we exclusively talk about the excellent Cronulla Sharks NRLW team in conjunction with the Sharks themselves, a co-production, if you will. My name is Sam Shinazzi. I'm an OG from 2015. This is our 11th season of podcasting. If this is your first time tuning into us, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app, on YouTube, on all the socials at SharkCast Pod. You will find us. This week, we had the absolute pleasure of talking to Brooke Anderson, the lock-cum-hooker, who is just a tackling machine and a really inspiring story. You get to hear all about her life thus far. And we also caught up with the young prop, Jacinta, who's having an absolute great season. Again, done so much in her short career. So great to catch up with those two Sharks athletes. You'll be hearing from them shortly. And you'll also be hearing from Tony Herman, the coach. Thanks to our friends at the Sharks. The NRLW Sharks currently sitting in 5th position, which is pretty good given the fact that they are 4-3 this year. So starting to win more games than losing, which is great. Rocky start due to a lot of injuries. The injuries keep coming, unfortunately, but we are getting people back as well. So it's a bit of a mixed fortune there at the moment. But NRLW Sharks currently in 5th place, coming off a hard-fought 12-8 win last week at Sharks Stadium against the Titans. Very gripping affair, but the Sharks did enough to get away with that. And I know a bunch of you were down there watching that game as well. So Sharks won 12-8 over the Titans. We play the Warriors this week, Sunday, 1:45 p.m. Australian time in Hamilton. And you can watch that on Foxtel, KO, and Channel 9 affiliated programming. And if you're lucky enough to be over there, please enjoy the game. Tell them that we said hello from SharkCast Pod. The Warriors coming off a 20-16 loss in very bizarre circumstances. A bunch of send-offs there, and they still almost won the game. So Warriors in a similar position to us in that they need to start winning some games. They're 3-4, so they could jump up to be level with us if we lose to them, which we're not going to. The mighty Cronulla Sharks NRLW team will win against the Warriors. It won't be easy, though. A tough road trip. I think they leave Friday and back on Sunday, late Sunday or Monday. So it's a whirlwind trip for the NRLW team. But I know Tony Herman and the crew have the team ready to rock and roll. Looking at the game last week, the Sharks did have their own sin bin issues with Anne-Marie Kiratu sin bin in the 38th minute. We had tries to Emma Verron and Cassie Staples, and Shante Kiratu kicked 2 goals. Our back 5 again were really great with meterage. Emma Verron running for 180 metres, Cassie Staples, Tiana Penitani-Gray, and Georgia Ravix all over 100 as well. Unfortunately, Anessa Biddle came off with a shoulder injury, I believe, and she didn't get to play too much of a part in that win last week. And of course, the bustling Ellie Johnston with 140 metres as well. So some great efforts there in attack and defensively pretty tight all round as well. The Sharks too have a tough run into the finals. They have the Warriors away this weekend, then Newcastle at home in a bumper doubleheader. Please get your tickets for that if you can get to the game. It will sell out. It's Members Day. It's a Sunday afternoon. Hopefully the rain has cleared. I can't promise that because it's been raining for 100 million days here in Sydney, including right now as I record. But get along to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Members Day, doubleheader. Potentially our last home game for NRL and NRLW re-finals. We're not sure what's happening there, but I would get your tickets now if you are planning on coming along. And then they play the Bulldogs and Roosters as well. So it's a tough run in for the Sharks NRLW team, but it's also one that will challenge them. And if we're good enough, which we are, we'll win a bunch of those games and finish in finals for another year, which would be great. However, 1 week at a time. Your team to play the Warriors at 1:45 p.m. Australian time in Hamilton. We have Emma Verron at fullback. Wingers are the reliable Cassie Staples and Georgia Ravix. Captain Tiana Penatani-Gray in the centres, along with Grace Lee Weeks, who comes in for Anessa Biddle. And Grace Lee Weeks is a great talent. You've heard from her on the show earlier this year, and she will not let you down. The halves are Georgia Hanaway and Shante Kiraratu. Props are Ellie Johnston, and Stephanie Faulkner comes in. She comes in for a starting position. Brooke Anderson, who you'll be hearing from shortly, she is the hooker. The back row is Manalita Takapatalo, Anne-Marie Kiraratu, and Tale Holmes locks the scrum. Your immediate bench is Tyler King, Jacinta Carter, who you'll be hearing from shortly as well, Nakia Davis-Welsh, and Caitlin Johnston-Green, who we haven't even spoken about yet. I'll get to her in a second. And your reserves in 18, Jada Taylor. So she's getting closer. 19 is Dominique Dutoit. Then we also have Tamaya Kelly-Sines, Leki Leilua, and Rhiannon Byers named on an extended bench. I think that is just because we don't have anyone else ready to go in that extended list. I don't believe Rhiannon is any chance at all. She may be back for finals or a grand final, much like Quincy Dodd, but I think at this point Rhiannon is just there for admin reasons. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Caitlin Johnston-Green, what a great comeback for her. You know all about her story. Only recently had a child 3 months ago, back in and training, and made her comeback and debut for the Sharks last week. And a great effort considering all things, and she looks very, very powerful out there, and she's going to be a very handy purchase for the Sharks. And Jacinta Carter, who you'll hear from shortly, she mentions the influence she's had on her career thus far. So that's what's going on. NRLW interviews coming up with Brooke Anderson and with Jacinta Carter, and you'll also be hearing from Tony Herman via our friends at the Cronulla Sharks. This is SharkCast Pod. My name is Sam Shinazzi. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and like and share. Do all that cool stuff for us. It's a small thing from you. It's a big thing for us. We'll have more SharkCast episodes coming shortly. This is SharkCast NRLW 2025 in production with the Cronulla Sharks. We'll talk to you soon. Don't go anywhere. Here come the interviews. SharkCast 2025. I'm here with Brooke Anderson, our lock, sometimes hooker now, which we'll get into. Brooke, nice to meet you. Can you tell us a bit about where you grew up and how you got into sport?
So I grew up in Brighton Le Sands, just about 10 minutes away from here. I grew up with an older brother, so I have one older brother, and he always played footy. So I sort of followed in his footsteps until I was 12, when the girls weren't allowed to play anymore. And then I went on to play soccer for a few years, and then I played rugby sevens. I was with the Australian rugby sevens team for 4 years. And then after that, I had a bit of a break. So I still work in construction, but I worked in construction for about, I think it was 5 years. And then off a whim, I just made a snap decision, and I messaged Tiana and I asked how to get started in league, and ended up here. So
when was your first game of rugby league?
Oh, I think it was 2022. 2022.
In your life?
As a older player,
okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So I played rugby league when I was 7 up until 12.
Okay.
And then we had to stop.
Did you have a team you supported as a youngster?
As a youngster, I was a Dragons supporter.
Ooh.
Being from Brighton Le Sands.
Interesting.
Cogra was the home ground.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So what was it like with that time in between when you were young until when you called Tiana? What was that like, the first hit up and first tackle?
It was a pretty surreal feeling. I watched Tiana play from afar. Like we both played sevens together, and she went straight from sevens into league, and I went into construction and had a bit of a break. And I just remember watching her play and watching the NRLW and thinking like how cool it would be to play rugby league, something that I loved so much when I was young. And I thought, this would never happen. And it's a pretty surreal feeling being able to play now.
So you began in Harvey Norman Women's Premiership. How did you make the leap to NRLW? Was it the Eels that picked you up?
Yes. So we played our Harvey's team. We lost in that grand final against Tigers. And then I got picked up from Para that season. I played that year. I learned so much that year. Obviously, having so much time off, I've got to relearn all the rules and everything. But I got picked up that year. And then when Sharks came into it, obviously all of us girls wanted to come back to what we call home. Yeah. Starting with Harvey's here. I've been just my third year with Sharks, and I've been loving it.
Did you play in the 22 grand final?
22 grand
for
final.
the Eels? Or
yes.
you did?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you've been in 2 grand finals, haven't got the win yet, but there's
Yep.
one coming this
Yep.
year. It'll have to be this year for you.
Yep.
And we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. What were those experiences like for you, and what have you taken from the 2 losses?
Look, they're pretty surreal experiences. Like massive crowd, you're playing before a men's team, and it's just a different feeling. And it's the same feeling when you play like things like Origin and Pac Champs, when you play for Kiwi Ferns. Like it's the same feeling. It's just like a lot of excitement, but a lot of pressure as well. And I think losing that grand final in my first year, we really wanted to win that Sharks grand final, and we came so close.
Yes.
We just fell short. But it's devastating to lose that when you're so close to winning.
Now, you have played one Origin game in 23 for New South Wales. You played for the Maori All-Stars, played for the Kiwi Ferns. You've done a lot since coming back to playing football.
Yeah.
You must be very proud. And, I mean, you still got years to go in the game. Does that make you feel proud and your family's proud and everything?
Yeah, look, sometimes I think as athletes we forget, what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
And it was the same with rugby sevens. Like I forget that, I was in that program for 4 years and I put a lot on the line to be there. And it's the same with league. And when I came across to league, I did have goals and, one being Origin. So when I made that team, it was a pretty surreal feeling. And then not long after the Origin call, the Origin debut, I got a call from the Kiwi Ferns coach. And we had a chat, and, it was a hard decision at the time because obviously when you switch over to Ferns, you can't go back to Origin. But, that was also one of my goals. I think playing for Australia in rugby sevens, I always said if I came to league, if I was eligible, then I'd love to play for the Kiwi Ferns. And, from my mum's side, her family being from Hamilton, I was able to do so. And, it was a quick switch, and ever since I played for Ferns, it's the best time of the year. Like it's my favourite time of the year, and I'm really proud to be able to play for them.
All right, let's talk about this season for the Sharkies. It's been a slow start, but we're getting where we want to be, back into sort of finals contention. How have you seen the season? How's it been for you?
Yeah, look, it's been a bit up and down. I won't lie. We lost a few experienced players last year, and we've gained a lot of new players, but in saying that, they bring a new flavour to this team, and we got to change a few things up to suit our game. And I think we've had a pretty bad run with injuries.
Yep. Shocking.
So it's a lot of shuffling around, but it just gives those girls, the newer girls, the opportunity to step up and play that role for the team. Now,
you're one of the more experienced players, both in, I guess, games and age. What's it like for you seeing the young ones come through?
It's pretty special. I think, a lot of the older players, our mentality is very different. Just having that experience. So to see the young girls step up and, you watch their faces when it clicks and they just like click into gear and they're like, oh, like that's how it works, or like it's that easy. And it's just, it's a pretty proud moment. I've had a few moments this year with some of those girls, and, Steph Faulkner coming in and killing it. Still killing it. And AM, one of our Anne-Marie, Shantae's younger sister, she got pulled up, not even in Dev, and then she got put to Dev, and now she's in the top team, and she's absolutely killing it too. And, these girls are giving us a run for our money, and they're coaching me through the game some of the time. So to play next to them is a pretty proud moment.
Tell us about Tony Herman. How do you get along with him? What's he done for your game?
Yeah, Tony's great. Look, he's such a smart coach. Everything he does is just so smart. And it's very hard to comprehend sometimes when you come into this team and you've got to learn his game plan. And, I remember my first year coming back to league at Harvey's, and Tony was our coach then too. And I had no idea what I was doing that whole season. I was just depending on the halves, still so confused. And then it sort of clicked for me at Para. So when I came back to Sharks, I sort of understood what he was meaning by most of the time. And now I've really come to love his game plan. And he's a great coach.
Tell us about how you feel playing hooker. Unfortunately, Quincy's out for most of the year, if not all. Obviously, she's a rock in that position. You've had experience there at the international level. It's a different position, lock to hooker, obviously. Do you have a preference? How do you feel about being the number 9 now?
Look, it's a massive loss losing Quincy. She's such a threat in attack, and not only in attack, her defense is like she's a workhorse, and I absolutely love playing next to her in lock. So it's a huge loss for us. But in saying that, like injuries happen, and we've just got to adjust. And I think having a bit of 9 experience, it helps me to sort of slot into it.
Yeah.
And we've got a few girls in this team that can slot into that position too. But I think in this Sharks team, I do prefer lock. I've been really trying to master that lock position for the past few years. And but whatever the team needs, I'll slot into. And I know the game plan pretty well to just slot into any position he needs me in. So, yeah.
How are you feeling about the Warriors this week? You play them on Sunday. You've got a big travel weekend. How are you feeling going into that game?
Yeah, good. Like I said, we've had to shuffle a few people, especially this week again, losing Anessa. We don't have Quince, and we've just lost Jadica as well to a finger. So, a few shuffles in the team, I think. But, the girls have proved in the last few games that they're willing to fight, especially in our defence. And I think defence wins games. Yep. So as long as, we're willing to fight, we'll put up a good fight against the Wars. And, they're a very strong team. They've come back this season, and they've just proven how strong they are, especially nearly winning the last game they played with 11 players. I think that's unreal, and they're gonna fight to the end, and we know that, and we've got to be up for the challenge. But we're really excited. Yeah,
such a short season. Every game counts, and we are catching up a little bit because of a couple of losses earlier, but we're getting there. Like, it's improving, and we can't stress enough. And you've said it, I've said it. Like, the injuries have just been so damaging, unfortunately. But putting on brave faces every week and starting to win games, which is awesome. Before we let you go, Brooke, I've given you a bit of a heads up on it, but music, rock and roll, hip hop, whatever your jam is, we want to know about it. A genre, an artist, a song, we don't care. Just talk to me about music, please.
To be honest, I listen to almost everything. Mm-hmm. Love a bit of country, R&B, doof. But it's doof. Okay. It's definitely a thing. But it just depends on the day. Like, I'll listen to anything, I'll dance to anything. But before games, usually it's doof.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have to fight the others for the stereo, or does everyone sort of get along when it comes to music? Everyone gets their turn, or do you just have your own music?
We usually play similar music on game day. Uh-huh. But everyone's pretty sweet with it. I know a lot of the girls like R&B and doof. It's one or the other, mm-hmm. But no, everyone's pretty sweet. We usually have that one person that just chucks on a playlist and everyone just gets in the zone. So, yeah.
All right, Brooke Anderson, thank you so much for your time. Good luck on Sunday against the Warriors. Sunday, yes. Sunday, yes. So make sure everyone's watching. If you can't be in Hamilton, which a lot of our fans won't be able to, make sure you're watching. Brooke Anderson, go get them. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Jacinta Carter, welcome to SharkCast Pod NRLW 2025. Nice to meet you. Let's get to know you a little bit better. Where did you grow up, and how did you get into playing sport? What sort of sports did you play? Tell us all about young Jacinta.
Okay, young Jacinta. I grew up in Ipswich and Brisbane. My mother and father were in the Defence Force, so the base is out there. I grew up there. I did a lot of athletics. I was really heavily into athletics. And I'd play a bit of soccer, all that sort of stuff. Sorry. But yeah, I was really into athletics. I was a sprinter. I was a high jumper, long jumper, shot put, discus, everything. So that's what I really wanted to do. But then I found rugby league.
Did you grow up watching the game?
Yeah, I did. I remember nights of especially Origin and watching Sam Shinazzi, JT, all them, and just going, wow, like, I love this game. I wish I could play, and my brothers were playing.
Okay. So how did you go from all those sports you just said, I'm not even going to list them, to playing the game? How did that happen? When did it happen?
Yeah, so I wanted to play when I was little, like when my brothers were playing, because my dad was their coach, so I'd have to go to their trainings and watch and be there. But there wasn't much around for me then, and I started playing I moved to Newcastle when I was 11 or 12. Okay. We got posted down there. So I played for the school, and then I played in this little 6-week comp they had down there. And this is just before Tasha Gale started. Okay. So I started playing in that, and the Knights actually scouted me then for Tasha Gale, but I was only 13. So yeah, I couldn't play. And then I moved back to Brisbane, and then there was a club up there for me to play. So I was playing then.
Were you a tall 13-year-old?
I was huge.
Okay.
There was one point actually when I was 14, I got pulled off the field and they made my mum prove my birth certificate
Oh,
because
no.
they didn't believe I was 14.
That's what every young teenage girl wants to have happen at a game.
I know.
Wow. Okay. So, did you say Brisbane? No.
It'll
Where
come
did you
to
go
me.
to? You went to.
Oh, so I just moved back and played club footy for North Devils.
Gotcha.
And then I got scouted and picked for like Southeast Queensland teams and QAS from his name's Timmy. I forgot his last name. He was actually here with the Titans on the weekend.
Yeah.
And I saw him and I was like, I just realized you were one of the first people to ever scout me. And
Oh,
he was
wow.
like, yeah, now look at you. So I was
Wow.
like, it's pretty cool.
And I'm imagining he'd followed your career throughout.
Yeah, well, he still remembered me, so I guess so.
So, how did you end up playing for the Knights NRLW team?
So I was playing at Wynnum.
Mhm.
Seagulls for under 19s and for BMD, and I was signed with the Broncos as development.
Right.
And Michael Dobson, who was at Wynnum, he was like the manager of everyone, had signed down in Newcastle
Mhm.
for, I think he was a Flegg or someone like that. And I jokingly said to him like, oh yeah, put in a good word for me. And then Ronnie Griffiths actually said to him, do you know any front rowers?
Wow.
And then that's how it went. And my boyfriend lived in Newcastle.
Okay.
So it was perfect.
Meant
And I
to be.
wanted to move down there. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, how was your time there?
Awesome. I loved it. It was definitely hard in the first few months, moving away from mum, because me and mum are really close.
Yep.
And I'm from a really big family. So moving away from my friends and family was hard, and it was a whole different type of training. It was definitely tough, a lot of tough love as well. But to earn what I wanted to earn and get what I got was amazing. It was one of my favorite years ever.
Did you have any experience with Caitlin, who is now with us at the Sharks? Was she?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Caitlin was there both years I was at Knights.
Mhm.
She was there before me. And yeah, she was just awesome to learn off. She took me under her wing a fair bit. I was a little bit scared of her at the start.
Yeah.
But no, she's the most genuine person, and me and Caitlin are very similar. We have very like ADHD personalities, so we
Okay.
just bounce off each other.
Okay.
But no, she's a great leader. She's so knowledgeable and happy to teach anyone. So yeah, she was really good.
Isn't it amazing that now potentially you'll share a scrum at some point?
Yes. Yeah, I jokingly say I didn't want to verse her, so I followed her.
So let's talk about you coming to this great club. How did you find your way down here? What were your expectations? Have they lived up to it? Tell us all about your thoughts on Cronulla.
Yeah, I definitely love Cronulla. I'm so happy I made the move here.
Mhm.
I remember my manager early last year was telling me that Cronulla was interested. And at that point, I was just so set on staying in Newey.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, look, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And then things started to not go to plan at Newcastle. I wasn't playing very much. Well, I only played one NRLW game last year.
Okay.
So then I decided to come and meet with Hermo and Casey, with my manager, and I just fell in love straight away. I loved the area. I loved Tony's energy and his vibe. And he told me what he wanted from me straight away, which is what I look for. I like someone that's straight up and honest and tells me what they need.
Okay.
And that's exactly what they've done, really. He didn't promise me a spot in the team every week, but I did say to him, I don't want to go somewhere just to be like the 24th player. And he said, if you do the work, you'll be in the team. So we've both come to the party. I've been in the team every week, which has been amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's been really good for my growth and development, and all the girls have been awesome too.
Tell us about playing with the other girls in the pack. There's Tale. We just had Brooke Anderson on. There's a whole bunch of superstars in that pack. Not even counting yourself and Caitlin. What's it like having such a star-studded pack? Not let alone halves and everything. The whole team's amazing, but the forward pack's just so good.
Yeah, Brookie is amazing. Like her and Quincy Dodd, the best communicators on the field. So smart.
Yep.
And they can both tackle so well. Like normally people would target them because they're the smaller bodies, but I've seen Quincy pick people up and drop them.
Yeah.
So they're unreal, and they're also, again, so helpful. Whenever I needed help, especially in preseason, learning all the new things, they would always help me at the end. So, and then Ellie as well, my roomie. If ever I feel someone come and just barge us over, I'm like, that's Ellie.
She was our
She's so
first guest
good.
on NRLW 2025.
Oh, really?
Amazing personality, a great player, obviously. And you guys have done a really good job so far. I know it's been an up and down season, but you've done a great job getting the team forward, both of you and obviously the rest of the pack. Tell us about your relationship with Ellie. Tell me more about that.
It feels like I've known her my entire life.
Oh.
We get along so well, and we look the same, we act the same. Sometimes we sound the same. On the field, people struggle to tell us apart. Like,
right.
It's like we're soulmates.
Oh,
it's like
so cool.
We're meant to be, and we just get along so well. We are with each other all the time and never get sick of each other. I don't know about Ellie, but I never get sick of her. And yeah, she's also again been great for my development and bringing me back down to earth if I'm up in my head or anything like that. So yeah, she's awesome.
Because we should point out to the people listening and watching, you're a young athlete, especially compared to a bunch of the others in the team. I did a bit of research. I didn't realize you were as young as you are. Amazing career already so far. The season's been up and down, as I said, but we're getting to a place where we want to be. Tell me about how you see the rest of the season. We've got the Warriors this week, which will be a tough road trip. But, I mean, the team must have some serious ambitions now, even though injury has been awful. But we're going to be up in that place where you want to be.
Yeah.
So coming off the grand final loss last year, it's where the fans thought we'd be as well. But tell us about the next month of footy.
Yeah, the next month of footy, we've got all of the top teams.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be a grind, but that's what our footy's about. And every week it's an opportunity for us to go out there and show what we're made of. And, we lost some games we probably definitely should have won, which we've shot ourselves in the foot with for that. But, every week we're all super hungry and ready to go and just want to fight for our sisters next to us. So I have full belief in our team that we're going to go well for the next month. And I think going to New Zealand is going to be so exciting, especially for, Tyler and the girls that are from New Zealand as well. So that'll be awesome. And then we've got a home game against Knights, and then we've got Bulldogs and Roosters. So it'll be a good test for us, and I think it'll be really good.
The Knights game is going to be off the chart for all the Sharks fans watching and listening. Get your tickets now because it'll be a sellout. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's Members Day, double header, as you said, and it's going to be awesome. So looking forward to that. Before we let you go, can you tell us a little bit about music? And I ask you that because we ask all of the players, men, women, the admin staff we interview about music. And you did come bouncing into this room. I have to give a spoiler to everyone. The music, or I felt I can hear music.
Yeah.
Tell us about music. What do you like? Artist, genre? There's no wrong answer.
My main playlist is actually called All the Music in One because it's all over the shop. I go from Chris Brown to Offspring to Metallica and then back to Kalani.
Now, let me stop you there. For, I think, at least this season and maybe last season, listeners have been writing to me, a few listeners who must love heavy metal. I like all music myself. And they wanted to find someone in the men's team who liked heavy metal, right? And I was like, that'll be easy. It'll be Hamlin Welly. It'll be Jaden Barrell. It'll be someone. We couldn't find anyone. You're the first person to even drop a Metallica, which is awesome. And you also said Offspring, which is obviously not heavy metal.
I love the punk sort of music a lot more.
Punk grunge girl, I love it. So just wanted to let you know about that. But keep talking. We love all genres. What else you got?
Yeah, I'm definitely a big muso. So yeah, as I said, I go from R&B to punk to metal but my favorite is, have you ever heard of Suicide Boys?
Suicide Boys. I don't think
They're
so.
a bit underground.
Yeah.
Not really. People might think that sounds so crazy.
Are they current? Are they old?
They're current.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suicide
So I'm not going to sing you a song, but
okay. You want, if you can.
No.
So are they a heavy band? They sound like a heavy band.
No, they're like a grungy rap, I guess you could say.
Grungy rap. Okay.
And then when you look at them, you probably think, oh my goodness, what does she listen to?
Okay. No.
But yeah, that's just part of my music taste. They were my number one artist on Spotify last
Suicide
year.
Boys. Okay, there you go, everyone.
And then we go to like Morgan Wallen.
Nice.
So it's everywhere.
A lot of the Sharks women and men's team, Morgan Wallen, like Combs, like
country.
that. To be honest, that's usually what gets thrown back to me, which I love. I'm a country guy. I love it too. But that's fascinating. All those. I'm going to go look up Suicide Boys.
Yeah, you'll probably think they're a bit funny.
No. I've got a very open mind when it comes to music. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome back anytime you want to come on and talk Sharks or whatever else, music if you like. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
And we'll see you Sunday week as well for the doubleheader against Newcastle. But Warriors this Sunday, go get them.
Thank you.
Hermo coming off 2 wins on the trot for the first time this year. How's the mood been around camp this week?
Yeah, it's been really good. We've got a few injuries and stuff again, but the girls were pretty keen on winning 2 in a row and then building from there and hopefully make it 3 this weekend.
A strong defensive performance against the Titans on the weekend. Is that what impressed you the most?
Yeah, I thought the girls defended really well. They had 54% of possession, I think it was early on, heap of sets on our line. To get to 0-0 at half time, we were really pumped going into that. So yeah, defensively I thought we were really good. 1 try from them against 12. Other than that, I thought we were great. So yeah, good defensive effort.
As you mentioned, another couple of injury blows with Anessa her elbow and Jadica a broken finger. What's the outlook for those guys?
Yeah, they're not going to be short term. We think, they're going to be a bit long term, and same thing with Quincy and Philomena. So yeah, we're losing a few there, but some of the young girls that are coming through, really, really proud of them, and this just gives another girl an opportunity. Looking forward to seeing what Grace Weeks does this week again. She's been in the side for a couple of weeks there, and then missed last week, so she's pretty pumped for a big performance. Second row wise. We've moved Manolita there at the moment, and then we'll just see how we train and then see how that lands for us. Do
you think the adversity you faced earlier in the year and having to throw some of those guys in the deep end is going to pay dividends now that they've got that experience under their belt? Yeah, definitely. And it'll be good for the program going forward too for years to come. Some of these girls are playing, they're starting games and playing 70 minutes, and start of the year they wouldn't have envisaged playing at all. So to see them play that, it would be good to play them for a bit and then give them a little rest and then bring them back up and everything as part of the program. But we're not getting that luxury at the moment, so everyone's sort of got to just get in there and do their best, and really, really proud of what they're doing. Trip across the ditch to face the Warriors, what are you expecting from them?
Yeah, they're going to be really tough. Big footy side, they'll challenge you to tackle them, they'll kick well into the corners, big outside backs that'll carry for them. So yeah, they're going to be a really tough challenge for us, but yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Heading right into the business end of the season now, how do you sum up with the team sitting?
Yeah, we're really happy where we are. Obviously we would have liked a couple more wins, and but we lost those 2 games early. Equal tries, didn't kick as many goals. We've had some injuries and stuff, but it's about time we make a run from here. And we sort of positioned ourselves for that. So yeah, this weekend's a big weekend.
Caitlin obviously came back last week. Remarkable return. What did you make of her performance, and how much better for the run will she be? Yeah, amazing. 11 weeks I think it is, since she had a baby, and she's out there and having a run around with her friends and going really well. Really proud of what she's done, and she'll get better and better every week, but the expectations around her is she just loves playing footy. So yeah, she just needs to get out there and just keep enjoying herself and everything, and there's no pressure or anything. We're just really excited to see what she does.